we're going to record tonight's thing. I've literally broken out in a sweat because I'm trying to post all the information that I need everybody to have for tonight in our groups. So here's what I have to say tonight. Yesterday, I had this feeling that I wasn't supposed to plan anything for tonight. And that only happens every now and then. And every time it does, I try not to get nervous. I try to tell myself, hey, it's going to come out just fine. Everything's going to be great. You're not supposed to plan anything for a reason. Well, this one came all the way down to crunch time where I had made a backup plan. Let's just put it like that. Like, even though I knew I wasn't supposed to, but I thought I'm not going to get on here and do that thing where you just stare at people. Okay. So, right before the call, I got a message from someone, and she's going to be a few minutes late, but it was the thing that God was wanting me to wait on. He wasn't wanting me to schedule something because of the conversation I had with her. So I'm going to break down really quick and go down through a list of things that are super important. And I need you guys, if you're normally distracted at the beginning of a call, you're not going to get distracted when this conversation takes place in a little bit, like at all. You're not going to get distracted. But right now you might tend to be distracted, and this is when I need you to lock in because I'm about to just spew information at you like boom, 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 okay? For tonight's call, you're going to need your list of people that you would normally, your prospects, people you might contact, people you might be interested in adding to a group, okay? You need that because later, here's the thing. I'm going to do this in the order that I feel God telling me to do this. I'm telling you what you need. We may not get around to all of it in the first 45 minutes. Like, we may not get everything done, but anybody who's sticking around, you're going to need that list, okay? I would like for you to add to your list. Who have you met since school festivities have begun? So if you've already sent your kids to school, and if you've already, maybe you haven't sent them, but you've met their teacher or something like that, or maybe you've just been out shopping for back to school, whatever. Who have you met since? And I want you to add those people to your list right now because this is a busy time of year. This is when everybody gets busy, and it's a good way. Like, it's a good way for our business because people start getting back on a schedule and in a regimen. So that's the first thing. If you don't have that, walk around, find your list. Get that ready. Second thing, tomorrow morning at 9 Central, I believe, Rachel Hollis, the author of Girl, Wash Your Face, is going to be, I guess, doing an interview live on Jessica Heffley's wall. I thought it was going to be a Zoom link, but I think there was so much interest that she was afraid we would break Zoom. So you understand what I'm saying? So I think it's going to happen streaming on Jessica Heffley's wall. The link to her wall is in all my pages. It's there. Like, I put it there earlier. This is why I broke out in a sweat. I was adding all the things that are pertinent for tonight. Because once I figured out that I have something really awesome to talk to you guys about tonight, I started thinking I need to put this info that was my backup plan. I need to put it on the walls in my pages, okay? So it's there. Tomorrow night is our event, okay? That event is going to be an awesome event. I have been behind on getting you info like I normally do. I've been behind on, like, putting prizes out there, but now the actual thing that you should say when you invite a person, and if we have time later tonight, we're all going to do this together. We're literally going to go down and invite at least 10 people each. But that's going to come after what I feel God has planned for tonight. So the event tomorrow night is 7 Central. The topic is busy moms and healthy kids. We have more testimonies than I can shake a stick at. So I'm literally, like, weeding through so that we use, like, the, most pertinent testimonies for this particular topic. It's going to happen, the event will happen inside the Beauty Inside and Out group, okay? There will be, if you're wondering what do I say to people to invite them, I have posted that. If you're on one of my pages, it's posted in my page that you're in. It just says something like, in case you're not able to, like if you're on your phone right now and you're not able to go and look at that right now. Sorry, even my Wi-Fi is a little bit jank. All right. Did somebody get Becky the link? Does Becky have the link to this? Can somebody send Becky the link to this Zoom? I think she's having trouble finding it if she's not on here already. Oh, there she is. Never mind. Never you mind. There she is. Hey, Becky. I just saw that you had asked for the link. Okay. Here's what you want to send to people. There's an event tomorrow evening where some of my friends will be telling what has changed in their life since they started Plexus. There will be fun giveaways like a Kate Spade wristlet, some Pandora and Tiffany jewelry, some kids' Ray-Bans, etc. Is it okay if I add you? You might win a prize. That's all I wrote. So if you're in one of my groups, you can just go copy and paste that, and you can start sending it to people if you'd like. We will do it power hour style in just a little bit after we kind of get through the meat of this call. Anybody that wants to hang around. What's that? Okay, well, no, just leave it on because I don't know where my little light is. I can't find my light. This painting thing has been an adventure at our house. So got stuff everywhere, basically, what the deal is. So, okay. Here's what you need to know about what will happen tomorrow night. I intentionally have not asked my husband if he knows of anything that will, what might be transpiring on Saturday, but I haven't asked him and he's walked out of here, so he doesn't even know that I'm about to tell you what I think. And this is based on nothing except for my thinks. I think there will be some sort of special on Saturday. So tomorrow night's event is, let me just say that you would be super stupid not to have people on there ready, excited, curious, so that once we have a special, you have the perfect reason on Saturday once we do the sip and see thing that's going on Saturday. I have a feeling, I can't prove it, got no evidence, but I have a feeling that there'll be some sort of, I don't know, a sign-up special or maybe a welcome pack special. You may think I'm like fibbing that I don't know. I have no idea, but I kind of have a Super Saturday feeling about it because it kind of reminds me of Super Saturday. It's halfway into the year past Super Saturday, or it's a little bit more than that, but you understand what I'm saying? And so, I'm just gonna go bullet point really quick, back through, boom, 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 boom. I hope I have everybody's brains spinning. Tonight, you're gonna need your list of 64 for later, or 100 or 350, or how many you have. You need your list of people. Tomorrow morning, Rachel Hollis is going to be live on Jessica Heffley's wall in the morning at 9, I believe. Tomorrow night is our event. And don't forget about Saturday, the sip and see stuff. People are asking me, do they had to register for the sip and see thing? Do you know? I told them that, Jetty doesn't know what I told you. I told them that there will, I know that, but I'm saying, I told them that there will likely be a special that pops up, and I know you and I have not discussed that, but I figured that there will be a special that comes out with the maybe. And here's what I know. Here's what I don't know. Do people have to be registered like it has been in the past?
I would register in case there is one, in case there's that.
You would register. He would register in case there is one, in case that happens. Are we registered? Jetty just got a to-do list.
Hey, my to-do list is long.
Does anybody know where the link to register for this is? This has become a joint effort thing at this point. Okay, so nobody ever saw it in an email. Okay, Jetty's going to work on that for us. So, okay, we're going to scoot on into the meat, the meat of tonight. I have a friend who, somebody, Plexus sent us a text. Was it a long time ago, Joanne? watch, it was probably today. And she's going to be like, dummy, no, it's today. I doubt that it's today, though. Okay. There was an email with a register button that it asked where you were hosting. Oh, okay. So if you're not hosting one. Okay. Today or yesterday. All right. All right. Jetty's working on that. So we're going to move on past all that. Oh, get your team registered. There it is in a text. I see it. Okay. Now, moving on. I have a friend of mine who's going to tell her story, and here's what I'm going to tell her before we get started, letting her tell her story. You're welcome to tell as much or as little. We would love as much, but there's no pressure, and literally, pretend like this is one of my breakthrough calls in that don't worry about that this is supposed to be business or whatever. And I want to introduce her. Many of you have met her in the past. It's Mandy Avery. In fact, is Christy, new Christy, what's her, I don't know how to say your last name. Nodine, is she on here tonight? I want to ask her a question. Do you guys see her? She's going to be so sad if she's not on here. Okay. Anyway, y'all know Christy. She's been talkative the last few Zooms that we've done. And she has posted on her wall a few times and even told me a few times that the first time she was ever on a Zoom that I did, so she was new to our team, the first time she was ever on a Zoom, she got on here and some crazy lady was talking about oil and anointing Post-it notes. And she said she was like, oh, she almost said peace out. She said she was almost like, what kind of voodoo? Okay. But she didn't. And she has her testimony, which I'll have to get her on here to tell sometime, but her testimony is that like, since that call, her life has changed, like turned around, and like, she's had so many amazing things transpire in her life because she chose not to turn and run on that night. So she's like, she usually doesn't miss a call. I should have made sure she was going to be on here tonight, but I just found out a little bit ago that the crazy Post-it note oil lady is back on our call tonight. I did not suggest that she use oils or Post-it notes. I'm just kidding. It was all on her. That was all on her. I'm just kidding. But if you don't know that story, you'll have to catch up on that story some other time. But this is who we have back tonight, because she has, as Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story. So can you unmute yourself for us, Mandy?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to let you just take off.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. My name's Mandy. And I actually didn't know that I was, can you guys hear me okay? Because I have my air conditioning running in the background. Is it okay?
Good.
It's okay. All right. I didn't know that I was going to be talking to you guys tonight until about 10, 15 minutes ago. And it's funny because this is definitely God ordained. Someone needs to hear the story tonight. Maybe many need to hear it. It's not my story. It's God's story. And I'm telling the truth. That is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to tell the truth. Tell God's truth. And so that is what I want you to know, is that I prayed before I got up here. And I'm going to tell you what God did. And we'll let the chips fall where they may. But yeah, so I had no idea I was going to talk, but I was actually, and I'll tell you when it happens in the story, but I was trying to find this Zoom link because I felt this really strong pull to be on here tonight. And I haven't been on one of Lori's Zooms in months. And for some reason tonight I was supposed to be on. And so I messaged Lori because I had removed myself from her group, but I'll tell you why. And I had to humble myself and say, can I come back into your group, Lori? Because I don't think you're crazy now. And so I want to come onto your Zoom tonight because I in the same way that people thought I was crazy, I thought Lori was crazy. Let's just be honest. She's not. Okay. So anyway, so I had to humble myself, which is always good, right? When we have to do that. And she let me back in and she's like, wow, I actually didn't know what God was going to do tonight. I didn't really have anything going on. So this is like supposed to happen. Okay. So that's awesome. And so, okay. I found Lori through Plexus, and then through her breakthrough. I actually, when I first joined Plexus, I started watching her gut health, videos or whatever, and my mother-in-law and I would watch her. But then I found her breakthrough class through a friend. So I started taking her breakthrough class, and that was in I'm not really good with the timeline. Let's just say that was maybe like 6 months ago, something like that. Maybe a little bit more. Anyway, so I took.
It was like November.
Okay. Yep. Yes. So I took her breakthrough class. She told us to get a journal and write down questions that we had for God. And at that point, I work at a church. I felt like I had a pretty good relationship with God. But to be honest, like, I didn't always crack open my Bible. I had a hard time trusting him with things. And my personal relationship with him was like off. Like, we weren't like this, we were like this. And so I was like, okay, let me take this class. And so in the journal that I had, I wrote down some things. I wrote down, God, would you heal my back? Because my back, ever since I had my daughter, she's 1 now, she's 14 months, has been awful. I've been in excruciating pain. I went from being a fitness instructor, teaching fitness classes 4 times a week, to literally barely able to get out of bed in the morning, crying to my husband constantly, missing work all the time. Like, my back was awful. And it just progressively kept getting worse and worse and worse, where I couldn't stand up straight. So I wrote that in my journal. God, would you heal my back? And then Lori started talking to me about curses and clearing your house out of stuff and praying over things and all that kind of stuff. And I was just taking it in like a sponge. Part of me was like, what the heck? But then the other part of me was drawn to it. And I know that was God leading me through this journey, because truly, where I was and to where I am now, I had to humble myself a lot. And I had to realize that God is way bigger than I thought he was. And that was scary to think that. But he's huge. So anyway, so she's telling us all, pray over stuff in your house, things could have a curse on them. I can't remember everything she said, but God was getting me ready for what happened. He was setting me up, basically, through her as a vessel of her obedience. So the last day of her breakthrough training, Lori started praying for everybody, and she didn't say, at that point, she had said nothing about healing anybody. Nothing. But for some reason, I was like, you know what? My back's going to get healed right now. I just know it. I just know. And then she didn't tell us to do this, but I just was like, I got to put my hand on my back where it hurts. I'm just going to put my hand here. I don't know why. Listen, to me, the gifts, the God's gifts, the gifts of the Spirit, the charismatic gifts, speaking tongues, healing, prophecy. At that point, I believed that they didn't exist, because that's what I taught. That was the shadow I was under, and what you are under, you become. And so I was under that shadow, and I was limited in my understanding of God. And so I did not think that he was going to be healing a lot. I just thought we just take meds or take Plexus and we just get through with it. Plexus did help me. Up until that point, I was off all this depression medication, but there was more. So anyway, I had my hand on my back and she's praying. And then all of a sudden I felt like this warm feeling on my back, and I could stand up straight, and I touched my toes, and I'm walking around, and I was like, I told her, my back just got healed, you guys. And I did not have pain in my back for a week after that. But the problem was, one, there was part of me that still didn't believe it. And 2, I didn't tell anybody, because I didn't believe that God could do something. I don't know how I didn't believe that, but now I do. I just was like, this is weird. How can he heal like this? I had never experienced that. So I didn't tell anybody because I was embarrassed. And so during that time, so after that happened, so then my back pain started coming back, and it got worse and worse and worse, to the point where I was literally taking narcotics. I was taking oxycodone every 3 to 4 hours around the clock, to the point where I was I was out of it because it was so bad. We did an MRI and we found that it was herniated really badly. And so anyway, so that's when I started to get kind of bitter because I kept coming back to Lori's calls, and I would wait for the prayer. Selfishly, I listened to all of their stuff and I'm like, come on, let's get the prayer. Like, come on, let's go. Healing. And she kept saying like, well, you probably need to tell somebody. I'm just saying, you probably need to tell somebody. And before that, also, she had mentioned to me about curses, okay, and Freemason curses that can be on your family. And I thought that was the weirdest thing ever. My great grandfather, was a Freemason on my adopted father's side. So first of all, I didn't understand curses because I thought, how can I take on something that that my family did when Jesus died on the cross to get rid of the curse? What I didn't realize is you have to appropriate what's in the Bible. Galatians 3:13 says he died and he became a curse so that we could be set free, but we have to appropriate it. Like, we're not supposed to be just like laying around lazy Christianity. He wants us engaged spiritually, like there's a war. So I was like, I didn't understand that. And throughout this whole thing, I didn't want to disobey God. That was the thing. I didn't want to disobey him. So I was trying to be careful. And so anyway, so she was telling me about this. She sent me this prayer. And I'm like, this is weird. I confirmed that my great grandfather was a Freemason, but I never said the prayer. I just kept it there and I just let it go. And I had learned that the prayer was connected to Leviathan spirit. So that connection there. So, and that's issues with like your back. It can cause issues. So then kept getting worse and worse and worse. We went to convention. Everybody prayed over me at convention. And I truly believe that while I didn't get instantaneously healed at convention, I believe that was a catalyst. And I believe that Lori's group that we were all praying, those people praying over me, the fact that I literally sat there in front of all these people and humbled myself and cried in front of them. I got up when they said, well, check your back. And I ran around the outside of the convention like a crazy person. I did jumping jacks and I was in complete pain. But I felt like God was telling me to do that, to just trust him. And it didn't happen then, but I can see how he was causing me to just less of me, more of him. So I started to get a little bitter and I started to get a little angry. And so then I went to the route of going to the doctor, which God can use a doctor. But at this point, now that what I believe about God, I truly believe he probably could have healed. Actually, I know he could have healed my back without a surgery. But that's okay because he's still good and sovereign. Okay, so here we go. All right, so I started to go the route of the doctor. And we got an MRI, and we saw that, when I saw the picture of my herniation, the first thing I thought was demonic. There is something demonic about that there is something evil over that MRI. And I didn't know why I thought that, but it was just awful. And so I purposely took the picture of it and I put a Bible verse over it. So I have the picture and then I put a Bible verse from Isaiah over it because I'm like, God is going to do something. So I got the surgery. So we went in, I got the surgery, and I got out of the surgery and they said, there's a possible chance that, it was a laminectomy. There's a possible chance. Is you guys following? Am I going good chronologically? Okay, good. I just get amped up about stuff. So, okay, there's possible permanent nerve damage, which I do not claim over myself in Jesus' name. I do not claim that. But they said when you come out of that, you could possibly have that. And if you have numbness in your toes and you have the nerve pain after the surgery, it's likely that it's permanent. Okay, so that was our fear. So I get back from the surgery, and about the third day when all the narcotics wore off, I remember I was sitting on the couch and I tried to stand up and I had the most nightmarish pain I've ever felt in my entire life. I can't even describe to you. It was a nightmare. It was literal torment. It was nerve pain from my lower back all the way down my leg into my toes. I couldn't go anywhere or do anything. My husband, and this lasted for about 3 days until the next thing happened, but my husband had to carry me. My daughter she still sleeps in her crib in her room, and when I would go in there, sometimes it would come up so badly that I was screaming, but I had to cover my mouth if she was sleeping so that she wouldn't hear me. I was screaming in pain. So it was awful. It was tormenting pain. And I was so afraid that this was going to be my future because I called the doctor and they're worried. I could hear it in their voice. And so, so then God led me to some sermons that I was randomly watching one night. I was up all night now, just in pain. I had messaged Lori too, and I was like, Lori, I don't even remember what I said to her, but I think I said I have bad pain. And I think she mentioned the Freemason prayer again. She did. Okay. And I was like, that's weird.
I think you said something like, barf.
Yeah. Probably the barf emoji. Okay. And I think it was in that time at some point, I had taken myself out of Lori's alumni group because I was angry. She had done a live on healing, and I was like, God didn't heal me, and I don't want to hear about how I'm blocking my healing. I was angry, and that wasn't what was in me. That was demonic. That wasn't my spirit speaking. That was demonic oppression coming against the truth of God, because God heals. That's what Jesus did, and that's where, what's so funny, before I finish the story, is that I have to have a conversation in a few weeks with some people, and the Great Commission. If you're a Christian, we're supposed to do the Great Commission, right? So the Great Commission, everybody will believe. You talk to a Christian, and they'll say, yeah, Great Commission, yeah. Go and make disciples of all nations, preaching, in the name of Jesus, whatever. I can't memorize it right now, but basically baptizing them and all those things, right? Well, then we stop. But the rest of it says, and these signs will follow those who believe. And that's healing, casting out demons, something with snakes and drinking poison. And I don't get that yet, but that's the signs that we are doing. People they don't go there because they're afraid. It's scary. So anyway, okay. So I'm laying in my bed. I'm desperate. And I start watching these sermons about demonic oppression, casting out demons. If you are a Christian, you cannot be possessed, but you can be oppressed by demons. Unclean spirits, if you're afraid of the word demons, but they are what they are. We're in spiritual warfare. So anyway, that seems less scary to some people. I don't know. I was terrified. I was watching these sermons. I was up at 1 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and I would literally be in my bed, oh my gosh, demons are real. They're real. And I was so scared. But something in me, that was God, he kept saying, keep going, Mandy. Keep watching. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. And I can't tell you how many nights I would get up in the middle of watching a sermon, go over my daughter, lay hands on her, pray for her, probably because there was activity going on around. During that time, I started watching these sermons about breaking off generational curses and removing unclean spirits from you. And while I was watching those, I'm not joking, God said to me, okay, now I want you to stop taking all medication. Don't take any more meds. Take no more over-the-counter meds, no more prescription, nothing. I don't want you taking anything anymore. And my husband was like, he didn't get it. And he's like, you're in pain, Mandy. Can you just please take some Aleve? And you should have heard our conversations. I'm sorry, Levi, I can't take it. I don't know why. And he's like, just take it. But I couldn't. Stop taking the meds. That's what God told me. And I know it was because he wanted me to be able to tell this story, knowing that it's him. Okay. So I'm watching these sermons all the while. This is 2 or 3 days. I'm not able to get up by myself. I can't move. I'm not getting out of bed unless my husband is carrying me. I got nerve issues going on, whatever it was, demonic activity happening. I'm scared, but I'm pushing. So the night that it all came together is that I began to break off generational curses. And that night it was maybe between 1 and 3 a.m. I was up all night, couldn't sleep. And I was laying there, and I just started repeating these sermons. They would do like a breaking off of generational curses, casting out demons at the end, and I just started doing it with the sermon. And as soon as I got to Leviathan spirit and Freemasons,
Yes.
I had a warm feeling in my back, like water, warm water, like lovely feeling, rushed down my back, right exactly where the pain was coming from. And in that moment, I stood up. It was gone. Gone. And I was so freaked out that I couldn't talk for like 3 days. Like, I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't talk to anyone. My friends were like texting each other, like, is Mandy okay? Where is she? I didn't talk to anybody. And I didn't want to tell anyone because I'm like, I gotta know that this is real. Well, I mean, it's real because it's been weeks. I have no pain. God is real. He is big. Curses are real. Generational curses are real. Unclean spirits are real. And it's not anything we have to fear. The one thing that really helped me, that made me not fear, is that God created Satan. He was an angel and he fell, but God created him. So he's like below. Like, we know he's defeated, but we also have to remember, like, God made him. So we are, and we have him in us. I have no fear anymore. And so anyway, now I got to go tell all these people this story. Some more people are going to, I have started telling it, and I will say that I have had people come against me probably for the first time in my life. I've been a very like non-confrontational person for a very long time. Fear of man. A lot of things have been broken off of me. I'm a different person. But I started telling my story of healing, and I had someone come against me hard. And that's never happened before, and I know the kingdom of darkness is not excited.
Mm-mm.
But I don't care. So anyway, thanks, Lori.
No, thank you for sharing. I have to tell you something that for some reason, like, now there's a book inside my head labeled Mandy Avery's Story, because I want to tell you a few things that I didn't know that I have learned watching your story unfold. One is that I would never have known for sure to tell someone who had Freemasonry in their step background or their adopted background. I would have said, I doubt that's it. I don't know. Okay. But I felt like it was for you, even without knowing the whole, how it was. I felt like with you, I kept thinking, it's Freemasonry. It's Freemasonry. But I'm glad I wasn't really aware of what the whole thing was, because I would have probably said, no, it's probably not. Okay. Since your story has unfolded, and I've opened up my little guest house that we've been doing. I had my first people come over, and a very dear friend of mine was struggling with some of the exact same stuff that you have been, and in the process, while we're praying for her, she said, but the problem is it was my stepdad. I don't think it could be on. And I just was like, okay, there's the file labeled Mandy Avery that says, and I'm going to tell you what, my friend got set free that night. In fact, she got set so free that I got up and I told the enemy exactly what I thought. I said, you are so stupid. You came back on Mandy Avery just to teach me. Of course, that's not what he really did for that reason. But that is something that happened for me, just to teach me that it can come through, adopted or step parents. And I walked through my little house across the street, and somebody was imitating me later. They said I had my arm going like this because I was telling the devil exactly what I thought. I'm like, you're so stupid. You're so stupid. You were so anxious to come back and do that Leviathan spirit. If you're not familiar with the Leviathan thing, the Leviathan spirit was so dumb and anxious to come back on you and pull back down on your spine again that it didn't realize that now, and this is how I feel. Oop, hang on a second. Okay. I don't know what I've done here. I'm sharing screen. Oh. How do I make that stop? Does everybody else see that, or is it just me? Okay, whoops.
It said Wendy Lawson was sharing her screen.
Okay, yeah. Hey, Wendy Lawson. Okay.
She would have to set it off.
Oh, there it is. Okay, anyway, for me, it was like a huge revelation for me that first of all, the unclean spirits are greedy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why they have the right to do what they do anyway. Like, I don't fully understand that, but it's like that greed came back in and it was like, I'm going to take Mandy Avery down again. And I'm like, in my heart, I know that this happened to you, and I know that your story, you probably will never know the true depths of what your story is going to do, because it made me bold. It made me it made me like really bold, because I think the Leviathan spirit and being connected with the back can be so bad, you guys. I mean, people who have like major back stuff, scoliosis and those types of things, it's almost always, in my opinion, especially now that I've like really started working, and this hasn't even been that long ago, but now it's like all these people are cropping up in my life with a back problem, and I'm like, whoa. This is what we got to do. This is what we got to do. You have to look and see if this is in your family's genealogy and all this stuff. And I'm super proud of you and excited for you for everything that's going to unfold, because I see a what, I'm not sure what to call it, because a revival sounds like an old school name, but I see something that looks like a revival in your future, a revival for friends that you have. And regardless of who comes against you, one thing that can never be taken away from you, Mandy Avery, is the fact that you know what happened to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no measure of darkness that could ever be pounded on top of your head or inserted inside your ears or whatever that could ever come against you strong enough that could undo the fact that the Leviathan spirit is stupid and greedy, and it tried to come back on you again after we'd already tried to heal you once, right? Okay. So I broke it out in a full-blown sweat thinking about that. My dear, dear friend, because I had learned what I learned from you, my dear, dear friend got set free from the exact same conundrum mess. And because I was like, oh yeah, it can definitely go through step parents. It definitely can. I've seen it. I know it. And she's free too. So, okay. For those of you just joining us for the first time tonight, you can join a club that Christy Nodine, or whatever her last name is. Sorry, Christy, when she finally watches this, she's going to be like, that is not how I say my name. You can join a club with Christy Nodine. That's the club that thinks that we're crazy, because we are a little nutty. I made a post on Facebook today. First time I've posted on Facebook in a while, and I just, or posted anything other than just like asking questions about the fact that we are I don't know what we're doing. We're not remodeling our house. We're repainting and what's that, babe? We're repainting. We're doing some things at our house, and that has caused me to be like totally wrapped up in that. And this is the first time I posted something that was kind of personal today. I said, I give people plenty of reason to think I'm weird. I hand the reasons out like candy, honestly. Yet anyone who thinks that doesn't really say anything to me. I would never know, so much so that I have begun to think I'm nominal. Which, okay, whoops. Yeah, nominal. That's a word that means just a hair away from normal. So y'all have a good day. I have several more nominal things to go do today. Well, that's the way I feel about, if you got on this call tonight, this may be the first time you were ever exposed to anything that looked like everything we just talked about tonight. But I even feel like maybe this was just like a dress rehearsal for Mandy, so that she has other people she's going to tell, and maybe this is her first chance to kind of tell it in chronological order and not be interrupted by anyone or whatever, because, she's on a Zoom call. And so I want to pray, if you guys, here's the plan of events if you guys are down with this. I want to do not an hour, but a power hour type thing where we just, everybody that's on here, reach out to 10 people and invite them. You can literally cut and paste to tomorrow night's event. But before we do that, so that if anybody's on here that needs to go and can do that tomorrow or whatever, before we do that, I want to pray over us. And I especially want to send a blessing for Mandy and her story and her future things that she has coming up, without going into all of that. Just because I think it would be really good to seal all that with the blood of Jesus, if you guys are down with that. So, yes. Okay. Yes. Amanda, what you just said. Yes. Wow. Okay. Father God, we come to you tonight. I have this expectation in my heart, this excitement. When Mandy reached out to me earlier asking basically about trying to get the Zoom link or back in the group or whatever, my heart just jumped because, first of all, I didn't have any idea that she had been upset or anything. But really, it was just like, it's a beautiful picture of exactly how the enemy can try to work on someone in someone's life. And it literally has given me a textbook of the story of this is what has happened for her so far. But God, tonight, what I really want to present to you is this case. I want to lay this case before you and say, hey, she has more work to do. There are more things that I know are going to be in her future because her story has the power of setting people free. And I know that when a story has that kind of power, that the enemy can try to rear its ugly head, but I just want to remind the enemy tonight, do you know who she is? Do you know who we are? Do you know that I have a book titled Mandy Avery inside my head, and everything I learned from her story gives me another weapon and tool in my tool belt to smash you on the head like the stupid snake you are. God, I just thank you that I can feel that way about that. I thank you, and I literally just want to send this, I ask that you would send this freedom wind to Mandy to where she knows that it's like floating on a cloud, that it's like soaring like an eagle, like the wind will come beneath her wings and lift her up. Anytime she tries to tell her story, anytime that someone tries to come against her, she can just learn that not to be offended, not to be hurt by the fact that that's the beauty of the fact that she came from a background similar. She can say in her heart, I'm not offended. I'm not hurt that they don't believe my story or that they don't want to come out of their box or their shell and they can stay inside their shell like a turtle. I can just pray for them. I can heap blessings on them. And I can walk in the freedom of, hey, guess what? I'm healed. Hey, guess what? My back doesn't hurt. And I don't have to be, she can be fully free in the freedom and the beauty of the story that you have for her, Lord. And I see more and more and more in her future that as she walks out it's like a freedom dance. As she walks out this freedom dance, Lord, that you will begin to unfold more and more things. He's showing me it looks like, I'm just going to tell you what it looks like. It looks like there's pages and he's tossing them out in front of you. And the writing is in gold. And he's tossing these pages out in front of you, and you got these really pretty shoes on, and you're stepping on one page, and then you're stepping on the next page, and it's almost like these pages are across a pond or something, but the pages are holding you up. And it's I guess those pages are your story. I feel that your story has a breaker anointing on it, so that it's as you tell it, even the words, even the sound of your voice, that it will be breakthrough for people. They will see your heart. They will know by looking in your eyes, and they will feel the presence of the Lord on you, and they will know that it is true. They will know that maybe they don't have to be afraid. Maybe it will break something off of them just enough. That's all that has to happen. That's the relationship that you and I have. There was something between you and I where just enough. There was just enough. Maybe it was man, I don't know if I can believe this. I don't know if I can trust this, but there's just enough. And I feel like she's truthful and honest. And that's what I see on you right now for the future, what's going to be unfolding in front of you. And I just pray this holy boldness, and that your heart would always feel soft for those that come against you in a way that is familiar to you, that you'll never forget. God has shown me that because of your own background, you will never forget what it felt like to be scared, what it felt like to feel what if it doesn't happen for me, what it felt like to be I don't know if I believe in healing. I don't know if I believe those scriptures that talk about healing. I've never been taught that. All of that. The beauty of that has all been washed clean for you. And it's I still see you stepping on those pages. I don't know what that means. I don't know if you're supposed to start writing some stuff or not. But I see that whatever's underneath the water is holding you up, that you will never sink. You will never sink so far that you will not be able to just get right back up on those pages that are written in gold. I don't know what that's all about. You have really, really pretty shoes on too, so that's another bonus. God, I thank you for your revelation. I thank you that you are a God of healing. I thank you that you write our stories for us, Lord. I thank you for everybody that got on this call tonight, that they would be set free from any cage that they have had, any kind of prison that they have in their heart that has kept them held back in bondage or have some sort of block, if there's anything going on with anybody tonight, that you would show it to them. Give them a little picture right inside their mind's eye right now, that they would see, oh my goodness, that's that thing. That's the one thing. Maybe it's something I need to let go of. Maybe it's why my business hasn't flourished. Maybe it's why, whatever the story is. God, I thank you that, I thank you, God, that when we are called on, that we can speak the truth in regards to your presence and in regards to your story and what you have for us. God, I thank you that, like, I feel that tonight so many of you need to be broken free from something. And right now I just pray that the Holy Spirit would come on you, and even like angels would come on you in a powerful way, and that you would receive that you would say, God, I'm open to that. I'm open to your, I sit here in brokenness, Lord, open to what you have for me. It's okay for me to be broken in your presence tonight. It's okay for me not to have a wall up and worried about what you have for me tonight, Lord. Instead, I just sit here open and ready to receive. God, I'm not afraid of all those gifts. I'm for sure not. I'm saying things that you can say, though. God, I'm not afraid of all those gifts. I'm beginning to understand and lead into this idea of healing. Maybe the gifts of the Spirit are real. Maybe I'm willing to open my ears and my heart and even my senses, my nose, everything to your presence. That your presence would fall on us tonight. It would be tangible, that we could feel it, and that I feel safe stepping into something that may be completely unknown to me. It's everybody that you ever see walking in gifts of the Spirit, at one point or the other, it was foreign to that person. So that's something we all have in common. We all know what it's like to be like, I don't know if that's real. I don't know if God is real. I don't know if his presence is real. I don't know if he can really heal me. I don't know if he can really heal my heart of resentment. I don't know if he can really heal my heart of bondage. But tonight, I just say that let your guard down. Let your guard down. I'm going to repeat it like 4 times. Let your guard down. Let him in. Let your guard down. Let your guard down. Don't hold up a wall. Let it down. Let it down. Let the threshold of your heart be seen by him. He knows it anyway. But there's something about the letting. It's like something about, there's a beauty in the willingness. That's what it is. There's beauty in the willingness. God, I pray this special anointing on Mandy's story, and that everyone that she tells it to, they will hear songbirds in their ears as she speaks. They will feel the oil running down their back when she gets to that part of the story. They will break out in cold chills, and they will literally sweat, because they will know how true and powerful her story is, and that it will break people out of a box that they've tried to put you in, and it will set people free. I lift all of this up in the name of Jesus. Amen. Beautiful shoes. That's right, girl. They were beautiful shoes. Woo. Okay. Oh. Okay, I have to say something to Christy. Christy. Dear Christy. If you didn't get to hear Mandy's testimony, you're gonna have to listen to this recording later, because this is the crazy juju lady who was like spreading oil on the Post-it notes. And she told more of her story tonight. So I told on you tonight. I said Christy was on the first call with Mandy, and it was her first call ever. And she almost, like she said, her mom, she almost said, "Oh no, what in the world?" Look at the power of your story already, Mandy. So, look at that. Look at that scripture Heather posted. How beautiful are the feet of those who preach the good news. If anybody's on this call tonight and you need the Freemasonry curse breaking prayers, first of all, I'm not some crazy special person that has those prayers in my back pocket and I dole them out. They are super Googleable, and there are lots and lots of resources. And the reason I say that is because in case you think that I'm following some, this can happen to people. You can think, well, she's following some weird cult that believes in curses, and they have their own website probably, and that's the one she would send me. Oh no! If you Google Freemasonry curse prayers or Freemasonry, you can Google Leviathan curse prayers. Break the Leviathan curse. Leviathan is spelled Leviathan. Leviathan, I believe. So, just telling you. If you want the exact one that I have used in the past, feel free to send me a message, or, I'm not going to post it on my wall. Just saying that. Right now, I'm not posting it on my wall. The spirit of offense wants to rise up hard and fast when people don't understand why I would talk about that. So, yes, the one Christia just posted is the one that I really like.
I just have to say, Lori.
Yes.
That I personally did not say that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, because I'm going to say that whole prayer with someone. Yes. But I didn't say that whole prayer yet. I did break off the curse of Freemasonry and Leviathan. Expel the Leviathan spirit, and that is when I got my healing. Okay. But I do believe that I need to say the full thing. It's just real long, and I don't want to say it by myself.
Okay, I have a question. Can you send me the one that you did? Because sometimes just like if there's a short version that I could pray over someone and their back would, straighten up. I'm telling you right now, the belief raises, in the room for someone. So if you have that would be amazing.
Okay. This is the weird part of the story, and I won't go long because I know we're going to do something, but this is the part, I guess, what I got to just keep telling. I was listening to, I know that God, there's many ways that people have gotten healed, but the way that I got healed was I was listening to deliverance messages. I was literally binding spirits and blowing them like that out of me. Okay, like that's what happened. That's exactly what happened.
Okay. No, I love it. Even those links, do you care for sharing those with me? Because I'm saying, here I go walking this stuff out with like neighbors and stuff.
Yeah, I'll send you the exactly what I watched. Yeah.
Okay.
It's Derek Prince. For anybody that's nervous, it's all biblical.
Yes.
All lined up.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Okay. So now here we're going to shift gears here because I want everybody to make sure that they, that tomorrow night's event is as rocking as I can see it in my mind. And so I want everyone to go. If you can't switch, like if you're on a phone and you can't switch over and you want me to, Jenny, is there any way that you can I want you to grab just that short thing that I posted on the butterfly page and put it in. I've posted it in my other pages too, but post it as a comment on the Zoom. It's just wording to message people to invite them to the event. Let me see if I can see how you found it. Yeah, there's an event tomorrow evening where some of my friends, that one. Yes. If you can put that in the Zoom chat, that way if anybody's on here, I'll read it to you in case you want. There's an event tomorrow evening where some of my friends will be telling what has changed in their life since they started Plexus. There will be fun giveaways like a Kate Spade wristlet, some Pandora and Tiffany jewelry, some kids' Ray-Bans, etc. Is it okay if I add you? You might win a prize. Okay. Okay. Oh, and people on my team page are saying yes, they want me to add them. They don't realize that that's just the wording. Okay, so there it is. I want everybody to take just a couple of minutes, go down their list. It should only take about 3 or 4 minutes for you to copy and paste this to 10 people. And literally, like, here we go. Do, whatever that is. Whatever game show that has do. Go do that. I feel like we'll listen to one song while we do that. I got to find what song I want. Let's see here. This was a little throwback. Maybe. I'm going to turn my other songs off.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I'm lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams while the world we're gonna make.
If you get to 10, keep going.
There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we desire.
Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams keeping me awake. What the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. The dreams for the world we're gonna make.
However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. You may be right, you may be wrong. Just say that you're bravely alone. To the world you see, to the world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see.
Night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head.
A million dreams are keeping me.
A million dreams, a million dreams.
I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. For the world we're gonna make.
Okay, I'm going to pause that because it'll go to the next song if I don't. Eek. All right. Okay, next up, I got caught up in messaging people myself, so let me look at my list. Are there some people, maybe this is the first time you message some people, are there some people that are follow-up people? Are there some people that have been on your team that are maybe not currently, I'm giving you lists here, that are not currently working the business that you could invite? Write some names down here. Write down some names of people that you could be reaching out to. Say, hey, we're having an event tomorrow night. I'd love for you to join in, even if they're an ambassador who has been, inactive for the last few months. Perhaps you would want to reach out to some customers. You might even want to sweeten the pot by saying, if you jump on this call tomorrow night or on this event tomorrow night, I'll send you a 3-day trial. Because here's the thing. Think of it like this. If they agree tonight, you have tomorrow to send their 3-day trial, or maybe meet up with them somewhere. They will have already been testing it by the time Saturday rolls around, if there's a special on Saturday. You guys are following me here, right? Like, this is super important. If you're actually messaging people, would you please type in the chat? Yes, I'm messaging people. I'm doing this. Okay, good. Yay, okay. Why are you messaging me? Get back to messaging people. Go. I'm just kidding. Okay. Yeah, for real, get back on it. I'm just giving you some ideas here. I'm going to turn one more song on. Look how simple this is, you guys, right? We make it a little too hard. Okay, that was A Million Dreams. I really love The Greatest Showman, so we're going with another song from that. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. I don't know why I love that show so much, but Jetty took me to see it like 4 times in the theater, didn't you, babe? I found a treasure in that man. Found him at a bar on a Saturday night, but I don't know whether to laugh or not.
Let it stay this way. Can't let this moment end. You set off a dream, getting louder now. Can you hear it echoing? Take my hand. Will you share this?
7 Central.
'Cause darling, without you, all the shine of 1,000 spotlights, all stars we steal from the night sky will never be enough. Never be enough. Time to go, still too little. These hands could hold the world, but it'll never be enough. Never be enough. For me, never, 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 never.
Somebody got a yes from somebody who always says no. That was Christy. Yes, Beauty Inside and Out August is the group that you're going to put them in. The event is Beauty Inside and Out August is the name of the event. I'm sorry. I got so caught up in inviting people myself. Let's see. Let me see if there's any other. If there's somebody that new that you have met, doing the day in and day out, getting ready for school, or meeting the teacher, or maybe going to the school. Maybe you met another parent in the carpool lane. I have no idea. Whatever, because we don't go to school. But I'm just making up things. Anybody that you think, hey, this would be a great fun thing to add them to. Let's do one more song worth. Let's get your brain clicking in case I know I told you 10 people, but then I'm like, I was just kidding. This is working, so why not, right? People are actually, I know it's working because I keep having to approve people to the group. You keep adding people to the group and I'm approving them, so I know it's working. Okay, here we go. Let's do one more. Why not another Greatest Showman?
I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts.
Yes, Christy. Yes.
Learn to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them bring me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut you down, I'm gonna send the blood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. So now, 'cause here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apology. This is me. It's my speed. Well, fire away. 'Cause today I won't let the streets in. We are bursting through the barricades and reaching for the sun. That's what we do. Won't let them break it down. I know that there's a place for us. Oh, there's glory. Just like one cut me down. I wanna send the blood, wanna drown the mind. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Okay, here I go. And I'm on the beat I do. I'm not scared to be seen. They know this is me. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a bird, gonna drown a mind. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be. This is me.
This is me.
Okay. Oh. Hang on, I'm going to answer a couple of questions real quick. I'm about to post somebody asked what we're sending to people. They missed that. I just now added that to the group chat. Okay, does anybody have any questions that I haven't? I'm just checking the messages really quick before we get off of here. Okay. I'm telling you what, I did this thing early when I thought I was going to have to do this. This was going to be my backup plan, I thought. And I didn't know we were going to have this awesome testimony to go with, but like I was telling God, I was like, God, we need some yeses tonight. People need some yeses. And here we go. Literally, people are saying, I got 6 yeses. Getting yes, 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 yes. People are getting yeses. Say it right now. Say, God, I need some yeses. I need some yeses. God, I'm trusting you, God, you to be the yes man for me tonight. Tell me who would tell me yes. Tell me who would tell me yes. Tell me who would tell me yes. Anybody else? Anybody else? Oh, yes, Christy. Yes, ma'am. You'll have to here.
I got it.
Okay.
Okay, so now this isn't about Inside Out, but the only reason I knew that this was going on was because I was about to copy and paste the testimony that you asked me to write to you, but then I saw my messenger had been blown up. And I opened Becky's first and then Dawn's, and I saw this pattern. I'm like, wait a minute, what day is it? But anyways, my point is, though, my question is, it's so, or maybe it's a little bit of a question and a little bit of funny because of what you were praying as I was walking in the room, or whatever, technically not walking, but you got me. So I was about to send you this thing and say, oh my gosh, Lori, I know this is so wordy. If you want to edit this, please, you have the liberty to do so. But then when I get onto your Zoom call that everybody says I must see, you start talking about testimony on gold paper and something about, now, I mean, I personally like my shoes. I mean, they're probably not the prettiest in the world, but no, I'm just kidding on that. But but I was writing on an app that had yellow paper, and normally I change the color of the paper, but I didn't have time for that because I've been spending 2 hours writing this testimony.
Oh my.
And I'm trying to edit, girl, but when you testify, listen, I left out the part about alcoholism and all that. I was trying to keep focus on the plexus, but I was slow to the uptake. So I'm desperately going to need you to edit this if you want it to be something that people might want to read. I trusted and tried to edit so much. No, and I know you're a busy woman, but
don't edit it. I'm just going to tell you, sometimes there's a long testimony when we do a party like this, and those who need to read it. And that's how I feel about it. Like Mandy said something earlier tonight. She said something about, I have to tell the truth. And in my mind, I'm like, I've been saying for a week, because I've been praying for Mandy and she doesn't know this, but like in my heart, I know that she has some days coming up. And so I've been praying, and I was like, Lord, show her the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, Lord, that she doesn't touch your glory, that this story comes out of her mouth exactly the way it happens, and that she walks away free. And that's the way I feel about this whole thing.
Are we recording?
Do what?
Are we recording still?
It's okay. Do you need me to stop
Okay,
recording?
'cause I'm gonna get real honest about one thing I put in my testimony that I have never put in any testimony before, and I strategically worded it so it wasn't obviously obnoxiously truthful. But see, I do these little bullets when I get to the actual like chains being broken of medical issues.
Yes.
So I kind of slipped it somewhere in the middle of those, like, like, oh, I came off medication. Oh, I no longer got foot sores. Oh, I no longer narcoleptic. You know what I mean? But then I went back, and it's so funny that you were praying what you were praying. Okay, because I'm beating around the bush, but I'm just going to put it out there. I spoke about not having an aroma that I used to have. I mean, but you know what? I just went and seen Rachel Hollis, and I don't know if you saw my video in the Heart group, but I mean, and she's great. Don't get me wrong. I love her, and I received some stuff from her. But see, I was thinking at the end of the movie, kind of like, how wonderful is it that I already have these Rachel Hollises in my life? I have you, I have Dawn, I have Greg, I have Karen, I have everybody that's a part of the group, whether we've specifically talked to one another or not. I've gone to Vicky or shared Krista's story or spoke about the Post-it notes lady. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I've already got these Rachel Hollises in my life, and it's so easy. Well, sometimes I make it look easier than what it is, but it is easier for me to speak about recovery and mental health issues because that's been a part of my life for a long time. But when you get down to, like, she shared a story about seeing a plastic surgeon, and I never really went into details about my story that I got when I went to see a plastic surgeon. Now, I didn't get plastic surgery because I was too fat for it and I had the wrong kind of fat. But they didn't tell me that until after I was buck naked, doing 360 photos, having a full-on anxiety and panic attack, but just telling myself in my brain, Lord Jesus, this is all worth it. Lord Jesus, I'm going to get there. They will give me a flatter stomach. I don't care if I'm fat. As long as they get rid of that overhang, please, Jesus, get me through this. I seriously was like that. So I tell that part now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I saw the whole 360, I had gotten, and this is embarrassing, but this is my truth. I had gotten to the point right before Plexus, and I know I'm not alone, so I'm okay. I'm working through still sharing it. I had gotten to the point that I'd so loathe seeing myself naked that I wouldn't even take a shower but once a week. I didn't do anything, so I justified and rationalized it's okay. But when you shared in the beginning, when I first met y'all and started doing this, and you shared about you need to share your why, you need to share about that time that you're in the dressing room and you break down crying because of because you got all those mirrors. And I'm like, I don't even go out anymore, so I don't have a dressing room story. But girl, I don't even want to see me naked story anymore, and I still never went that extra step. Everybody really does support me when I share my truths. I get a lot of support and love, but we still hold back sometimes. Even those of us who make it look like it's easy, there's still them heart palpitations that go, who's going to attack me? Who's going to call me less than? Who's going to, luckily my face is so much bigger than that, but there was still that subconsciousness that said, girl, don't talk about your aroma. Don't talk about how you didn't take care of your hygiene. Don't talk about, like, that's only for your therapist, and I didn't even tell him about other things. So I just want to say, like, my point being is, like, I have a Rachel, y'all, look, Rachel Hollis came after Lori Word and Dawn and Greg and everybody else. But since she's the popular, famous person, now I have to say I have a Rachel Hollis all for y'all.
That's awesome. The worst parts of your story are what sets people free. Like, whatever the worst part of your story is, like, I told my breakthrough people the other day, I said, we're in week 2, which one of the things in week 2 that we do is start clearing out our personal space, like literally moving junk out or things that are stressors in our life. If there's, like, backpacks on the floor and we need to hang a shelf, or if there's a stack of books or something, and things that are one-time things. And at the very end of it, I said, you need to show us your pictures, show us before and afters. And I saw some looks on people's faces because they're like, no, like whatever it is that they want to clear out in their life. I said, unless it's a trash bag full of tampons, we need to see it. I'm just saying, like a trash can full of tampons. Like, show us what you got. So show us the work, like, in other words, it's just, there's freedom.
Yes.
And vulnerability and being real. And I can't wait to read your story. So I hope, did you say you've already
I tried to edit it. So, and when I try to edit me, sometimes it don't come out flowfully, if that's a word. I make up words every day. But another, like, there's truth to that. I was about to say I was blessed enough, but it is, listen, I got to add to the gratitude. It was not a blessing that I got hit by a drunk driver, okay? But the blessing in results of that 2 years later, attitude of gratitude, was I went through that whole decluttering stage this year. I lived where I have lived going on 4 years now. And I want to speak kindly, but I want to speak truthfully. I had a neighbor who had some serious mental health issues that caused her to attack neighbors and their lifestyles. Like, she just would, you know how you hear, I'm not afforded the luxury of resentment, whether it's real or fancy. She had more of the fancy stuff, like things was happening that weren't really happening. So anyways, my point being is I've kind of lived in hell for the first 3 years of my life because I constantly lived in a state of fear that I was going to end up homeless again because of this woman. And this was the first year since I got my settlement money and I got denied by the plastic surgeon. I decided I would basically, I don't know if the word's remodeled, but you clean out everything. You get you the nice furniture. You get your kid a nice bedroom set and a desk and and even though, and I'll show you, listen, I am not unhappy in my home anymore. But even though I still have to share a room with my 7-year-old, I thought I turned it. Can you see this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm 38 years old. I got my first big girl bed this year. And I made sure my 7-year-old did not have to share it with me no more. I've been having to share a room with my 7-year-old since he was born due to my poverty. And it's okay. We got a loving, bonding relationship. But I'm like, praise Jesus. I bought him a bed. I bought me a bed. I'm like, dude, bring on the next drunk driver. I'm just kidding. Don't do it. I did not put that on nobody. That was a horrible, traumatic experience. I mean, there's truth is my point. What you said, there is truth. Now, I'm not going to show you my living room because my kid just took a nap out here before he left to New Hampshire. So it's kind of a mess of blankets. But I got to go through the whole house and do that. And even though right before I was on Plexus, I was a recluse and stuff, it took the world off my shoulders to be able to hang photos on my wall, to feel safe in my home for the first time. It really does change your life to make an effort to get rid of that corner in your house where everything seems to go. And girl, I got that map that's right behind you too.
You what?
I got that map that's right behind you.
I thought you said you got that mess that's right behind me. I'm like, girl,
Yeah.
I know. That's up next on my list.
We bought that for my son. Who buys an $80 map when they're poor? Someone who gets settlement from a person that got hit by a drunk driver so that my kid could learn his dates. I ain't got no shame in my game. Sorry. Sorry. I'm not sorry.
I'm going to stop. Hang on a minute. I'm going to stop this recording just so that it's easy to